Of course, we're back again. All this shit. Yeah, don't worry about that right now. Oh, this guy has to do the logo moments. Oh, Boo. Come on, bud. Come on. There you go. There you go. There you go, buddy. Do this real quick. Boop. Hey, was the Doge Botion a complete success? I don't fucking know. Think I know that? I don't know. Ain't my dog. But I got this big boy being just a little dork. Look at you, you're crazy. You're a crazy boy. Look at you. You sweet hunk of dork. For emotional support? Why? Why do I need to, like, have him have emotional support? You don't need nothing like that. He's fine. He's a big boy. He can handle himself. Oh, my goodness, my goodness. Get my brain all activated here. All that fun shit. I'm not gonna lie. I was recommending something a little odd. I was listening to some of it. And it's just straight up like, apparently there's like a legit movement of Chinese people that come to the US that have like this weird ass fucking like cult thing that they're like establishing. I slept from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Jesus. I was wondering why you didn't pop in last night like you usually did. Yeah, it looked like you were knocked the hell out. Scientology? No, it's actually called a Falun Gong. It's F-A-L-U-N and then gong. You know, like a gong. Whoosh. Yeah, so it's apparently like a new wave religious cult. You know, what's shocker about that? And from what I understand, they're like really heavily affiliated with specifically anti-Chinese Communist Party sentiment and anti-Chinese state sentiment, but also sympathies towards Donald Trump, QAnon, far-right, white supremacist movements, And it's just like, huh? Immediate question mark, huh? It's like, what the fuck? Though Falun Gong has been around before then too, from what I understand. Like, they've been around even way before, like, you know, this newer phenomenon about, like, QAnon shit's been around. Like, I think they've been around, like, since the 90s or some shit, if I understand correctly. But they have their HQ in New York. And it's, like, Grifters Good movement, the fuck? Yeah, it's literally like a Chinese, like, religious right-wing grifting movement. A grifty cult, basically. Here, yeah, I could look it up real quick to show a little bit. Or at least, like, mention a little bit here. Oh, here, I already have it on my search results. Falun Gong, okay, here we go. Okay. So Falun Gong emerged toward the end of China's Qigong boom, a period that saw proliferation of similar practices and meditation, slow movement. Okay, so whenever this happened, I guess. Qigong fever, also known as the Qigong boom, was a social phenomenon during the 80s and 90s. Okay, so I was correct. So Falun Gong's around since about the 90s. And a period that saw proliferation of similar practices, meditation, slow moving energy exercises, and regulated breathing. So foo-foo nonsense, you know, go figure. And the Falun Gong combines meditation and Qigong, Qi or Qi cultivation exercises with moral philosophy. Alfonso. The practice emphasizes morality and the cultivation of virtue, and identifies as a practice of the Buddhist school through its teachings. Also incorporate elements drawn from the Taoist traditions. The moral rectitude and the practice of meditation, practitioners of Falun Gong aspire to eliminate attachments and ultimately achieve spiritual enlightenment. Ooh, Fonser. And it looks like initially, from its early history, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, initially were actually supportful and enjoyed their presence and kind of their little shtick. But it was around the mid to late 1990s the government increasingly viewed Falun Gong as a potential threat due to its size, independence, and spiritual teachings. By 1999, the government estimates placed the number of Falun Gong practitioners at 70 million. During that time, negative coverage of Falun Gong began to appear in the state-run media. Practitioners usually responded by picketing the source involved. Most of the time, the practitioners succeeded, but controversy and the tension continued to build. The scale of protests grew until April 1999, when over 10,000 Falun Gong practitioners gathered near the central government compound in Beijing to request legal recognition and freedom from state interference. This demonstration is rarely as catalyzed the persecution that followed. Okay, so... you know, pretty much a lot of the typical stuff CCPs know about. Crackdowns, oppression, restriction of internet access, stuff like that. I met the most annoying guy at Craigslist ever. He took forever trying to decide if he wanted to buy the Civic. Seriously, 1.5 hours, so also it's late due to it. Wow. Yeah, so Falun Gong is basically like a religious Buddhist cult in China that's very hardcore anti-Chinese government and very pro-American nationalism. Well, not necessarily pro-American nationalism, but it's very sympathetic with them.
From that, why some Chinese dissidents love QAnon. Is this Epoch Times? Probably. Let's take a look.
Oh, by the way, the Epoch Times is owned and funded by the Falun Gong as well. So they're unironically a propaganda outlet for the Falun Gong philosophy. So if there's anything that happens to be related to you know, the Chinese state or anything related to that, it will always be negative, you know, no matter what. Even if it half-assedly could potentially be a legitimate positive, like their bullet trains being better or some shit. You know, but you know, they have their own, like, essentially like little media outlet, you know, that can push a lot of their narrative for them. I don't think they're literally directly owned by the Falun Gong, but they have a lot of heavy investments to them. The Scientology owned a media company. I would not be surprised. They have their own production company that produces a lot of their fucking religious propaganda. They got that much.
This is the Republican Party that's not just gonna roll over and die because the Democrats would like you to.
Dude, you are just so fucking whack if you go to an event and Donald Trump Jr. speaking there and you're like, this is great, brother, I love this. This is entertainment for me and the family. His dad doesn't even like him, bro. His dad
fun for the
doesn't
whole
like
family.
him.
Just hours before rioters would storm the US Capitol, we were at the rally following a group of protesters who didn't make headlines. Chinese dissidents who fled the Communist Party's repression. They've aligned themselves with America's right wing, where Trump is often seen as the only person willing to stand up to China's aggression.
Paul, don't do this to me. Don't notify me for a live stream while I'm looking at something, Paul. Paul, why'd you do that? Why'd you...
Oh, it is. This is definitely... Okay, let's see.
Ideology, yeah.
The State Department propaganda.
We're sunk cost fallacy in it now.
Vice,
Fuck you.
Will they mention this is like Epoch Times related, or will they...
Picture unironically being an employee of Scientology. Implying that the people that work for Scientology are employed.
Falun Gong?
Like, you know, like, Scientology straight up, like, enslaves people, right? Like, I mean, when it comes to the people that work, quote-unquote, work under Scientology, like, manning their operations or their buildings, all that type of shit, like, they don't pay them. And they don't, and they essentially are, all intents and purposes, pretty much slaves, essentially, because they have to, like, be in these areas and these facilities and shit. Picture unironically making money while being a Scientology slave. I mean, whatever money you do get from them is barely able to, you know, like, have you sustain yourself.
It's Falun Gong. Let's take a look.
I mean, also, they will keep heavy tabs on you and then pretty much, you know, try to find every dark little secret about you and use that as blackmail.
Corruption, working
like, if you, like, honestly, if you ever meet someone who's a Scientologist, don't ever, like, tell them nothing but lies about you.
How long, can I ask, have you been in the US for?
I have been here ever since 1989 Tiananmen Massacre.
So you were there at the Tiananmen Square protest?
Yes, I was in Tiananmen Square. I shout.
I missed the Epoch Times. What the connection? Epoch Times is owned by the Falun Gong cult, which is like a
so they're out. So Epoch Times is owned by them. Oh shit.
psychotic, holistic, far-right, however anti-Chinese Communist Party cult that the State Department
want the nationalists of Taiwan to take over China. Yeah, they probably see Taiwan as the rightful China, and also on top of that, are very sympathetic to right-leaning nationalism and religious superstition mixed in with that. So. Pretty much like China's version of QAnon, it sounds like. Or at least, you know, a softer version of it, I guess. Like, I mean, this lady was, like, left China right after Tiananmen. And she's, like, fallen down this massive fat rabbit hole, dude. Like, holy shit. I see that notification too. What the fuck? Really? You know what? I'm actually skeptical of that title Kyle made, honestly. Kyle's nowhere near critical enough about Joe Rogan, considering his dumb fuck ass. It's like, Kyle, bro. If, like, a good friend doesn't just, like, let their friend be an idiot. You know, so if your friend's being an idiot, maybe you should correct them and, like, you know, hound on them to probably be better. Defending Rogan. I know, dude. That's why I'm skeptical about it. It's annoying. Like, look, is the quote-unquote N-word scandals about Joe Rogan a little ridiculous? Sure. But not, I mean, it's not like, you know, some sort of just like, oh my god, taking it too far. It's like, because honestly, there's times where Joe Rogan on his podcast would say it in, like, context of reading, like, song lyrics, you know, to a rap song or something like that. I mean, does that make it good or, you know, better or anything? No. But it's not on the same level of him making, like, you know, a joke about the Planet of the Apes and shit, which he's also done on his show. Because at least when it comes to shit like that, I think context matters. So, I mean, if he's like reciting some lyrics or watching a video, kind of like, you know, whatever the fuck, I mean, in that way, then it's okay, whatever. But if it's like making stupid fucking jokes and all this other shit on top of just being an insensitive prick, which he also can be, it's like, yeah, should probably clone on that shit. And of course, his stupid ass apologies are more or less like, I'm sorry I got caught. And oh my god, Kyle, you are bombarding. You're bombarding. Holy shit, that was like 3 in a row from him alone. Kyle. Holy shit. At least have like 30-minute like intervals. Like, look at this. I mean, there's Paul. There's the 2 right there. And there was the 3rd one. Okay, what? Oh yeah, because okay. I swiped it off. That's what I did. But nah. How about these? Hey, Kyle. Yeah, I'll just screw off. Fuck him. I might as well see what Paul's doing. Fuck it. It's another fuck it. Sukov.
Like this and went towards the sideline and he got hit. Like he got mushed.
Mushed.
And that, you know, the Bengals got all salty about that because you're on.
Oh, football.
Like, dude.
Fuba.
The Bengals started bragging.
Sukov. Sukov. Hey.
To win,
get over here.
He's in pocket.
Knock it off, bro. Nah, get over here.
You're not supposed to just like kill him. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to go over the top with him. But if he takes that ball and runs it, he's a running back at that point. You don't light hit a running back. You know what I mean? That's why you see quarterbacks when they run like that, they'll take a slide. But he didn't do
a little slide.
He stayed on his feet because he wanted to get that ball out of bounds. He got smeared a couple of times.
Meanwhile, I did not watch a single second of that damn thing. I will admit, I am a little sad because I kind of wanted the, underdog, like the underdog of the Bengals to kind of win, just because, like, and, you know, they kind of deserve it. They haven't been there in a while and all that shit, you know. I can give them that. I mean, they were close. It was like a 3-pointer. That was the only diff. Zukov! Hey! Knock it off, dude!
One of the better Super Bowls I've seen in a while.
Bruh. Man, you're getting old enough to where you're just boofing off now? God.
And I won $100. Can't be a bad day.
Oof.
I think TJ will dispute it. Does a bear shit in the woods? Does the Pope wear a pointy hat? It wouldn't be TJ if he didn't dispute it.
TJ's a contrarian. He has to dispute
Here's
it.
what I'm thinking it'll be. Because those of you that were watching, I think we made the bet. When did we make the bet? Was it on Onion Nuggets?
Onion Nuggets, yep.
You go back and watch the last Onion Nuggets and try and find when we made the bet. And he asked me, like, well, do you want to do like a point spread? And I told him, no, let's keep it simple. Straight up win. I think that's what he's going to come back with. It's like, oh, if we'd done a point spread, then we would have evened out, blah, blah, blah. Did TJ pay me? No. As far as I know, I haven't really looked at my bank account today. Maybe he did.
Quit pulling at me.
I haven't looked at my PayPal.
Stop it.
But I doubt it.
I think he would.
Bruh.
Yeah, he would probably be like, there was definitely like some salt in the group text last night. I was gonna.
I love the group text.
But the game was too close. I did not.
When salt starts spreading in the group text and you're just like, oh shit.
That I sent him gloating.
I always love to sprinkle a little salt in there every now and then in my group text. My little group chat. I always like to spread a little salt, makes people salty occasionally. It can be pretty fun.
Keep my mouth shut till it's security. Even then, I'm gonna save my gloat.
One of my friends is a little too easy to trigger though. It's why it's fun.
Do
When I got a homeboy that's just like, hey, you know, it's get a little like who also has to be a little defensive of Joe and Jordan Peterson and
salt in the wound
Rogan, etc. It's like it's fun to do a little triggering every now and then.
Maybe just salt.
Hates Elon Musk, so that's easy to do. Just share a story about Elon Musk and he'll go off.
Oof.
Oh damn, that looks like a nice joint.
For those of you that don't know, today, to the absolute shock of nobody, Kyle posted a picture on his Twitter of him snuggled up in a very romantic way with a bikini-clad crystal ball.
No shit.
So the meme was true.
No shit. No way.
There's no way that's not true. Did you see the picture? Go to the picture.
There's a picture of this? I gotta find this. Hold on. I gotta look at this. Kyle Kalinske is snuggled up to Crystal Ball.
Now, here's the thing. According to
Yo!
Crystal Ball is just married. She's still married.
Open marriage. It's an open relationship, bro. That's an open relationship, dude. Marriages don't necessarily mean it's a closed off sealed deal, you know what I'm saying? Dude, I am looking up Kyle right now. I have to see this. I have to.
It was real. Everyone owes TJ an apology big time. Yeah, seriously, dude. There were some people, because TJ was making, you know, he was making jokes about it. They were just like, man can't even work with a woman without everybody going blah, 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 blah.
Alright.
Maybe there's a little more to it than that. Maybe it's not just...
Yo!
And the women can't work.
Yo! It's true!
You know what I mean?
True! It's true! Yo! He is!
Yeah.
He straight up is!
You know my type, but I think she's attractive.
Sucker! Yo!
Not to critique her body or whatever, but you know, it's just my proclivity.
Dude, what are those tattoos? Wait, what?
Thickness. I like a little thickness.
Yo, what are those tats? Let me see these.
You know,
What we got going on there, bro?
She's very attractive. She's a very good looking woman.
She is. You know, just hey. Good on Kyle, bro. Damn, son. It's true. He actually
I
did.
hadn't seen him before either, but
The meme is legit true. Oh, I knew it.
same time as Kyle and pretty much every dude my age.
Fucking TJ knew it. I knew, like, everyone knew it. Everybody fucking knew it, dude. And boom, let's go.
Tribal armband tattoo.
I love those tribal bands, dude.
Around his calf, you know, the spiky one that everybody was getting.
Yo, bro. Kyle getting it down, son. What the fuck?
You'd have to look at it. It was a very popular design back in the day.
Oh my goodness, Kyle.
But yeah, but Kyle's tattoos, in addition to being kind of anachronistic early 2000s, late 90s.
That so is. Dude, those tribal tats are definitely like some late 90s, early 2000 right there.
Regrettable tattoos, but he got some tattoos that did not hold up well. It doesn't look like they were great to start with, and then
Let's just look at them.
They do. They look like prison tats, bro.
They really do. What is going on here?
Yeah, dudes would get the nautical star.
What's this? Like, what's this supposed to be?
In the 90s, that was a big
It's like some sort of like star tat of some sort. I don't know.
tattoo.
Kyle, what you doing, fam? What is that? Like, what are you doing?
The tribal tramp stamp.
The Big Seltzer fund that too.
The man stamp. A lot of people have forgotten this, but dudes in the 90s would get tattoos on their backs, but just like up between their shoulder blades instead of down on their hips or whatever. The man tramp stamp.
So shoulder back tats can always be pretty legit. Depending on the designs. I could see like a pretty cool like picture of, you know, like a tattoo of like, you know, a landscape design or like some, you know, space or something, you know, spreading some wings out or some shit. Stuff like that, you know, for some back tats like that would be badass.
Separated from him for a long time or something.
Dude, that Crystal might be married, but yo, that's an open relationship, dog. Marriages don't imply pure monogamy. Like, marriages can be open relationships where partners, you know, within the marriage are also fooling around. Like, that is definitely happening. That is happening with Kyle and Crystal, dude. That it totally is. There's no way. Dude, I mean, just the way the picture was set.
Like, these are just like.
Oh my god, we're getting to zoom in on it.
They said they look kind of prison tat-ish.
They do look a little prison tat-ish. I'm just gonna be honest, they do. The first one looks like he got it after high school, and then he, you know, got a misdemeanor. And then he, you know, started talking some shit to the judge, and he got like a few months in prison or something like that, and some community service, and he got those tats while in prison or in jail or whatever the fuck.
They're both good-looking folks. Frat tat, yeah.
The frat tat, dude. That's accurate. It's.
Or is it like a dulled out epsilon gamma tat? I couldn't tell from there.
Kyle definitely got some jock, like fucking frat tats going.
Yeah, I mean, like the line work is better and the fill work is better on these. That doesn't look like a total prison tat. The one above.
Yeah, the bottom one looks like he got it after high school because he wanted to look cool. And then, you know, he was in jail for a while and he had to fucking, you know, or prison, jail. Doesn't really matter, I guess. He was just like, shit, I need to add something to this so I look a little cooler, you know, amongst all these other dudes who have all sorts of tats. So I'm going to go to the local prison / you know, jail inmate who does the tattoos and just, you know, get some off of him. And then boom.
I like the no regrets tattoo, but misspelled really seals the message, yeah.
No regrets.
That's a meme.
You can't regret your tats.
That's like such a multi-layered fail, too, because it's just like as a tattoo artist, you'd think you'd have like, I'm gonna look up every one of these words to make sure that this person has spelled this right. Like, sir, regrets is not spelled regrets. Are you sure you want me to put regrets on you? Because regrets is R-E-G-R-E-T-S.
Yeah, I feel like a tattoo artist, when you have someone who literally has no regrets, it's like, I want to hope that the tattoo artist doing that would be like, so you know it's not regrets, it's regrets.
Started Khaleesi with a C?
Honestly, I feel like it's worse if the tattoo artist was like, yo, are you sure? And the dude who was like, no, do it.
Didn't they write it
It's
down?
regrets, you son of a bitch.
He just
Put regrets on there.
He just thought, I'm a Game of Thrones fan, so I know how Khaleesi is spelled. It's a C. Oh my god, what a boom job. Man, misspelling some shit on a person's arm, bro, that is not...
And when it's a tat, that's a yikes. That's a yikes. Misspelling some tats and it's like visible ones for everyone to see, like on your arm. It's like oof, oof.
And here you go, there's the mirror. Why is it with a C? Did he put the H? Or did he just do C-A-L-L-I-S-S-I?
I can't remember exactly. I just know the C was like the big deal. I think maybe she even like originally just wanted the one letter of it. He was not a smart person.
Oh, come on, man. But I don't know what love is.
I don't know what love is.
No, that's bad, man.
At some point, I want to get myself some tats, but one of the main reasons why I haven't yet is mainly just because of that. I don't want to have the regrets, dude. I don't want regrets. I don't need. I live under the no regrets law, not the no regrets law.
I'd have like a dictionary for that shit, so that I could look up what it actually means, so I don't put parrot turd on somebody's back or something.
Honestly, I am still surprised that
I'm not putting any kanji
I'm
on
honest.
you that doesn't appear in the actual language, because I'm not going to be blamed for putting, you know, something that looks like dildo face on you. It's supposed to mean balance and harmony, okay? I'm not.
When you do like those kanjis, like a Japanese kanji or something.
Like you dated one. Yeah.
I know people who have like actually have looked them up and have gotten them, but there's people that will just like, oh, this means this, when it actually means I'm a dork, or like I lick dicks or something like that, and that's what the kanji means, or the set of kanjis that they have. So they just have this kanji just permanently forever on their like arm or something that just says I lick dicks or something like that. It's just like
Really? See, that's weird to me.
I love it.
Like,
That's why I want to do like kanjis or anything like that. If anything, I do like designs. Like I know I'd have like a paw or two tattooed on me. Maybe like different symbols and designs and stuff that have like some pretty cohesive meaning to it.
Had the rag and shit, so.
If I had a girl you really didn't like that had a crush on you, yes. I had a dude that I really didn't like had a crush on me too.
All the sexy you're a magnet. Yeah, you are a magnet, though, at the very least.
I haven't. Well, it just goes to show you your personality is most of what people find attractive. Like you can get away with being a big flabby mess if you got the gift of gab or whatever, or you worked on it. I kind of like come to the point.
That is true.
I hate that term, the gift of gab.
Yeah.
Because it implies that some people are just born with that ability, and
And they're just gifted. Yeah, I hate it too, honestly, thinking about it. Instead of just being like, hey, this is something that you can work and improve with, and also, like, just develop more of your personality. I mean, because honestly, all in all, looks aren't everything. I mean, to me, looks are secondary. Like, if I, just legitimately like somebody and who they are, I mean, looks be damned as far as I'm concerned.
Literally never like talking constantly and talking to anybody about anything.
I'm give it a little like
thinking about your conversation and your word choice for years and years and years and years. They say that anybody that's like a professional at something has done 10,000 hours of deliberate practice and deliberate training on it. And if there's anything in my life that I've done 10,000 hours of deliberate practice and training on, more than that actually, because all of the acting training and experience that I had was woven into that same thing. But I've at least had 10,000 hours directly of just one-on-one conversation, public speaking, talking to a small group, talking online. I mean, I've got like that's how you do it. And
you just kind of keep working on it.
There's no self-help book. There are little tips and tricks that you can learn to be a better
advice, yeah.
Certainly, but like if you're trying to be,
at least for me, that's like the one thing that is really undermined about the whole like self-help thing is like it's seen as a way to try to like mold you into something that you really aren't, instead of just taking what you already are and actually just improving on that and taking little different tips and tricks that can potentially help benefit from that. Because like more benign things like, oh, clean your room, or make sure you're not literally utterly totally disheveled or whatever the fuck, like, yeah, those things help, but they shouldn't be like the mold of how you try to change yourself. Like, I mean, it's more about, again, your personality and how you are more so than anything. So I mean, if you just work on those main things specifically, and and on the side work on these other aspects like the whole clean your room, or keeping yourself at least relatively hygienic, and these different these different more smaller side things, I mean, it becomes a little easier.
I don't quite understand it because I never had stage fright. Like, I get stage anxiety, but everybody gets that. So you use that to fuel your performance. Every actor gets hyped up before they step out on the stage.
Yep.
Understand that you've got a one-take movie basically that you have to pull off.
Same thing for musicians. It's the same level.
It's kind of crazy.
Being a musician and performing in that way is very same feeling. The feeling of going up, even if you're in a big orchestra or in like a smaller band setting, it's always like, oh shit, pumping myself up for this one take that we're gonna do for these people.
Scene to scene, you gotta be perfect. You gotta know when you're coming in. It's a whole crazy fucking thing.
Same thing for music. You gotta know when you come in. You gotta know how much of a role you play into the particular piece. How much you're needed for a lick. Like if you have a solo, these different things where you should blur out, where you should back out, and quiet down. All these things.
Right, there are certain plays where you involve the audience in certain songs or whatever, and it's very
That's why rehearsals and practice is so important. And being persistent on those things is very important.
Anybody in the audience. So an audience is seated, and typically a stage is raised. If you've got raked seating, it's a little different. But raked seating, like this more Coliseum / stadium style not proscenium. What do they call it?
Auditorium.
You know what I'm talking about? Like theater seating. That you can see, it's like a lot easier to accidentally look at somebody, but
a lot of my performances when I was doing music and shit actually was in a lot of auditoriums like that, where it was more of like a theater-based type of thing, but nonetheless you could still have music and play music within it and all that, and it still sound good.
Find a focal point in the middle distance, and so that's where you're looking. If you ever have to look out towards the audience, and it became like second nature to me. And maybe that's a better piece of advice for stage fright than anything. It's like stage fright really is more about being aware of all those eyes on you and being afraid of messing up and humiliating yourself in front of those people. Well, if you train yourself that those people don't exist until the final curtain falls and you go out to get your round of applause, then it's pretty easy.
One thing I was taught, at least when it came to music, for that type of principle, when it comes to anxiety and stage fright, if you mess up in a song, like if you play the wrong note or something like that, the people out in the stage isn't necessarily going to know that. So as long as if you make a mistake, you just kind of just go with it and just kind of, just brush it off and just keep playing and, nail it, still after, a little slip up. So if you're like, da 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 da, it would still at least sound okay instead of being like da 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 ba da da, whatever, where it's like, oh, they messed up. If it at least sounds still somewhat like it's fluid to the song, even if you make a mistake, people aren't going to notice that. I mean, unless they're a musician themselves and happen to know those things, then they will kind of pick it out and be like, oh, somebody messed up in there. Still sounds good.
I mean, that's the last resort, is breaking the fucking magic and saying a line and having the stage manager whisper your line to you.
Ooh.
That's bad. So you gotta
or forget, like if you're playing a song and you forget where you come in, so you have to have like the director, like, you come in and actually like kind of like very like frantically like kind of like look at you and shit. Or if you mess up at the beginning of the song so badly that he just stops and restarts.
Actually left.
There's been times where that's happened, and that's pretty embarrassing.
The actors. There was some kind of technical problem that was keeping them from starting right on time, and rather than waiting in the green room or waiting out back of the theater and prepping themselves, there were actors in full costume with the house lights up, milling around the stage. And it wasn't part of the show. They were like on cell phones and shit.
What the fuck?
But dressed like, 18, 20 cockneys.
So why would they do that?
And it was just...
Like, if you're waiting for some technical shit and you're just kind of milling around, don't be on the stage.
Spell that's cast by a really good show. You don't fucking have an actor milling around on your stage.
Yeah.
Goofing around on their phone and full...
Or even, like, musicians either. Same principle. Like, the same exact principle applies for musicians when it comes to a concert setting, like, when it comes to orchestral sets and, like, ensembles. I mean, unless they're actually there to, like, help take things apart and set things down, but they're not milling around and fucking off. I mean, it's just like, if, like, that's where we have, like, the practice room for. Because we'll do, like, one set, really quick for ourselves to make sure we got it down, and then we go on stage and, do some warm-ups, and boom. Play our set. I mean, so it's just like, huh? I mean, if you're already set up and at this point you're just waiting for the, conductor for, the time to be set and all that shit, and you're all just kind of sitting down, at your places, I mean, that's one thing, but, like, just straight up milling around, like, what are you doing? Don't do that.
To get to go see each one of those shows for a season. And, I remember going to that one, both of us were just like, fuck this. We picked much money to sit here and be bored by these people that
Oh no.
don't even care about the craft or what they're doing.
Oh, there we go.
I've never seen such like disrespect, like open disrespect.
Oof.
Hey, thanks, Town Crier. We already talked about it.
Extra! I know I just got here, but Kyle and Crystal the bacon.
We literally talked about it, bro. But thanks, though. We already read all about it. You can go sell newspapers somewhere else. Hate people like that shit. Fuck.
Town criers,
Just
dude.
blunder in here and think that I'm the only person that knows the thing that everybody knows. You know what I mean?
God, I love town criers, dude. Extra. Everyone literally already knows about this, but I'm gonna remind everyone again. This thing happened.
If the internet was more of a thing, you
I
would have
love
been
it.
that guy that, like, 8 hours after 9/11 would have been like, God, oh my God, Paul, did you hear? Did you hear the World Trade Center and they fell out?
Oh my god, yes. That would be too true.
Put down your bell.
Put it down, y'all. I love it. Oh my god, that'd be too fucking true. Holy shit.
Gosh,
Oh my god. Anyway. I gotta go out and fucking work around all that shit. It was a little mini-me anyway, right?
I
So,
know.
anyway.
I mean, he
Be off doing that fun shit. I'll keep listening to this while I run off. All that fun stuff, so be back later tonight. Toodaloo. Blah, blah, blah.